Hello students, Jai Hind to all. Today we are going to continue our discussion of the chapter 1, input devices and output devices. In the last class we have discussed about the components of the CPU. Now we will continue on the input or devices. So students, uh, the input devices are those devices through which we give the input to the computer system. So your keyboard especially is the input device, mouse is the input device, and this keyboard out of this is the most common and very popular input device. Scanner is also the input device through which we give the input to the computer. And this layout of the keyboard is just like a traditional typewriter. You see how the typewriters, the keys are arranged on a typewriter. Similarly, on the keyboard also the keys are arranged. There are some additional keys also provided to perform the additional functions on the keyboard. So there are different types of the keyboards available on the market. One type of the keyboard is called the QWERTY keyboards. So this QWERTY is the first row of the keys will be on the keyboard is Q, then W, then E, then R, then TY. So that is called QWERTY. Is the most usable keyboard. It is named after the first six letters in the top row of the keyboard. So this in the top row of the keyboard you'll find these letters only QWERTY. This is the a keyboard you can see in the top row QWERTY. So these keyboards are the most common and found in the personal computers, and this is considered as the standard on typewriters. So for the typewriters also the first row you'll get these keys only. Now next, these are the different types of the keyboards are there. So different keyboards are designed for the different typing tasks. So this is a mechanical keyboard. See here, these are the mechanical keyboards. Each key on the mechanical keyboard has a mechanical switch. All these are the switch. Different type of switches offer varying levels of the tactile feedback and the actuation force. So when you press the keys. So the typist and the gamers who demand accurate and enjoyable typing love these switches because they give the tactile and the oral feedback. So they use these switches. This is the membrane keyboard. So laptops and cheap desktop keyboards have the membrane keyboards. So cheap desktop means which is less costly, 25,000, 30,000 that desktop if you purchase on that keyboard you will get this one. So when pushed or key contacts are rubber or a silicon membrane below the keys to register a keystroke. Now this is the ergonomic keyboard. So typing for long periods of time can cause muscle strain and discomfort. So ergonomic keyboards are especially designed to alleviate these issues. So means to reduce the muscle strain. This design is that which is comfortable for your muscle. So there is a split keyboard you will find and contoured keyboards which are curved to fit the natural hand posture. This is the gaming keyboards optimized for the gaming performance. Wireless keyboards. This is the virtual keyboards. Software-based virtual keyboards are utilized on the smartphone and tablets. So we have to tap or swipe the virtual keys to enter the text or directions. This is a foldable keyboards. Foldable keyboards are portable and convenient. You can roll it and you can carry anywhere. Traveler and the people who require a small keyboard, they can fold or wrap them for a storage and transport. Now here you see the keys on the keyboard. So basically the entire keys on the keyboards is divided into five categories. Typing keys, which is the A to Z and 0 to 9. These are the typing keys. Oh, so let me this layout we have to do. Okay, now it is visible. Okay, now see. So typing keys and the numerical keypad, you see there are 17 keys on the right side of the keyboard that is consist of the numbers, digits, and some sign of the arithmetic symbol plus minus multiply division. Function keys, there are 12 function keys present on the keyboard which is arranged in a row at the top of the keyboard, and each function key has a unique meaning and is used for a specific purpose. So the purposes of the function keys are different. Some are used as a shortcut keys and some keys are used while if you are installing any operating system to your device. Next, control keys. These Fourth one, these keys provide cursor and screen control. Here you use the home key, end key, insert key, delete, page up, page down, control, alt, escape key. All these are the control keys. Special purpose keys. This is the shift, caps lock, nums lock, space bar, tab, print screen, enter. These are the special purpose keys. Now mouse is another input device. So this is a popular input device. This is also called a pointing device and it is very famous cursor control device. So we are not going into the detail about the so many type of the input devices are there. You already have studied in your lower classes. So mouses are of many types. Many types. The common types of the mouse is optical mouse. You see, the movement of the optical mouse is detected by the LED light. This is the light emitting diode light, and sensors are used in this optical mouse. They work on many surfaces and the most common mouse. Trackball mouse, very old-fashioned mouse, have a stationary ball on the top that the users may roll with their fingers or thumbs. Movement controls on the screen. So with the mouse, the pointers on the screen we control the movement. Trackball mouse are utilized when speed or accuracy are restricted. So the wireless mouse, Bluetooth or USB receivers link. In the lab, you are using the wireless mouse. So wireless mouse can be recharged or utilized disposable batteries. So in our lab, the mouse having the disposable batteries. So when this is discharged, we take it out and put insert new batteries. Wired mouse, this is the wired mouse. This is the gaming mouse. Now the joystick, another input device. This is also called a pointing a device is used basically to play the games, which is used to move the cursor position on a monitor screen. It is a stick having a spherical ball at its both lower and upper ends. The lower spherical ball moves in a socket. The joystick can be moved in all four directions here. The functions of the joystick is similar to that of a mouse. It is mainly used in the CAD computer-aided design software and playing computer games. Light pen is another input device. This is also called a pointing device similar to the pen. So why we are using this a light pen? To select a display menu item or draw pictures on the monitor screen. So this light pen consists of photocell and an optical system placed in a small tube. So when the tip of a light pen is moved over the monitor screen, the pen button is pressed and its photocell sensing element detects the screen location and sends the corresponding signal to the CPU. Trackball is the input device that is most commonly used in a notebook or laptop computer instead of a mouse. Students, this is a ball which is a half inserted, and by moving fingers on the ball, the pointer can be moved here. This is the trackball. We move this ball with the help of the fingers. Since the whole device is not moved, a trackball requires a less space than a mouse. A trackball comes in various shapes like a ball, a button, or a square. Scanner is another input device which works like a photocopy machine. It is used when some information is available on a paper and is to be transferred to the hard disk of the computer for further manipulation. Another input device is the digitizer. See, this is the input device which converts the analog information into the digital form. This digitizer can convert the signal from the television or a camera into a series of numbers that could be stored into a computers. They can be used by the computer to create a picture of whatever the camera had been pointed at. So this is the microphone, another input device to input the sound that is stored in the digital form. The microphone is used for various applications, adding sound to the multimedia or for mixing music. Another input device is the magnetic ink character reader MICR. There are a large number of checks used in the banks to process every day. So MICR, magnetic ink character reader. So checks, over a check, the account number is written, details are written with a special ink. So this MICR reads that special ink, magnetic ink card reader. The bank's code number and check number are printed on the checks with a special type of ink which contains the particles of the magnetic material, and these are readable by this MICR only. So this is the magnetic ink character reader. So the reading process is called the magnetic ink character recognition. The process is called MICR. The main advantage of the MICR is that it is very fast and less error prone. Next is the optical character reader OCR. Input device, it reads the printed text. OCR scans the text optically, character by character, and converts them into a machine readable code and stores the text on the system memory. Barcode reader is another input device. So it scans the barcode image and converts to the alphanumeric value, which is then fed to the computer that barcode reader is connected to. So the OMR, So the OMR sheets, answers read by this OMR, optical mark reader only. A special type of the optical scanner used to recognize the type of the mark made by the pen or pencil. In the many competition exams, we get the OMR sheet to select the correct options out of the given four options, and that OMR sheets is checked by this OMR reader. It is specially used for checking the answer sheets of the examination having a multiple choice question. Now the output devices. So monitors, graphic plotters, and printers, these are the important output devices. So most common output device is the video, that is called the monitor, visual display unit. There are two kinds of the viewing screen used for the monitors. One is the CRT and the flat panel display. CRT is the oldest time, like the TV, box type TV is the CRT tube. See, this is the monitor, the box type. So this CRT display is made up of the small picture elements called pixels, and the smaller the pixel, the better the image clarity or resolution. So it makes more than one illuminated pixels to form a whole character, such as the letter E in the word help. So we'll not talk much about this output devices. Just we for your information only. Uh, we're talking about in the output devices. This is the monitor one of the unit. Second type of the monitors are there. Another one is the flat panel display monitor. It's the flat panel display monitors you can see. Now the graphic plotter, another output device, which is used in the engineering applications, and this is used to plot the high quality, accurate, and detailed drawing or plots on paper on the other video. So you can see this is the here these are the output device graphic plotters used to plot, see the graphs and the designs. Now the printers is another output device, so which is used to print information on the papers. So printer are basically of two types: impact printers and the non-impact printers. So impact printers make sound. Impact printers print the characters by striking on them on the ribbon, which is then pressed on the paper. So it is very noisy, very low consumable cost, useful for the bulk printing. Impact printers. So there is a physical contact with the paper to produce an image in the impact printers. Impact printers are two types: character and line printers. Character means it will print one character. Line printers will print at one time one line. So now the character printers are again divided into two categories, which print one at a time. There are dot matrix and Desivel. These are the character printers. Dot matrix printer. Here the most popular, these printers are popular because of their ease of printing and economical price. Very less costly is character printed in the form of the pattern of dots. So this is a dot matrix printer, very having less cost, widely used in the LIC office or in the for the tickets. You see the railway station for generating the ticket. These printers are used. Disadvantage is very slow speed and poor quality. Daisy wheel is lying on a wheel and pins corresponding to a characters like a petals of daisy flower, which is why it is called a daisy wheel printer. So it is lie on the wheel and pins. So this is the wheel. The head of the printer's head is lie on a wheel, and pins corresponding to the characters are like, and the pins is just like a petals. These printers are generally used for word processing in the offices, require a few letters to send. Advantage is more reliable. So we'll not discuss all this. Better quality print you will get here in this. Very slower. It is also noisy. Line printers are the printers which print one line at a time. So line printer is of two types: drum printer and chain printer. So drum printers are fast in speed and can print 300 to 2000 lines per minute. How many lines? 300 to 2000 lines per minute. So basically total tracks are here. The printer is like a drum in shape. It is called a drum printer. The surface of the drum is divided into number of tracks. Total tracks here is equal to the size of the paper. So means horizontal line you can understand, like in your notebook there is a lines, two line copy, two lines. That is the total tracks are of equal size of the paper. That is for a paper with the 132 characters. Drum will have 132 tracks. Very high speed, very expensive drum printer. Chain printer. Standard character set have here 48, 64, 96 characters. Here character fonts can be changed. Disadvantage, it is noisy. Now non-impact printers which do not make sound without using ribbon. Here no contact between the paper and the head is there. Non-impact printers print the characters without using the ribbon. So these printers print complete page at a time. This is also called the page printers. So laser printer and the inkjet printers. So nowadays we are using these type of printers most common. Characteristic non-impact printers are costly, faster than the impact printers. They are not noisy, high quality images you'll get and supports many fonts and different character size. Laser printers are the non-impact printers. They use laser lights to produce the dots needed to form the characters to be printed on a page. So this is the, you can see the very high speed, and this is the laser printer. Laser printer. Good graphics quality. Expensive it is very. Inkjet printers, non-impact printers based on relatively new technology. Here, they print the characters by spraying small drop of ink onto the paper. In this printer, cartridges are used. See, we use the inkjet printers to produce high quality output. These are the printers. High quality printing, more reliable. Color printing is also possible in this. Now, this already I have discussed the students about the CPU. And the memories. Now, our today's discussion will be based on the, again I will let us revise the very important topic regarding your exam also. This is the components of CPU. Again I will discuss a little bit more about this. See the student, the components of CPU. It's the memory system, and the CPU takes the data from the memory and stores the data in the memory. So here you are saying the directions from the CPU fetches the data from the memory in this, so this arrow is the pointing, and the memory systems provides the data to the CPU. This is the arithmetic and logical unit. This is the control unit. These are the registers, which is the fastest memory of the CPU. This is present inside the CPU only. So now our register set. So this registers what we are talking about. The registers set contrasts from one system to another. The register set includes several registers which contain general purpose registers, special purpose registers. These are the memories inside the CPU where the data are stored. The general purpose registers do not implement any particular function. They save them temporary information that is needed by a program. So the special purpose registers execute various functions of the CPU. So we'll see all this work of these registers. So ALU unit, this implements all the arithmetic, logical and shift operations by supporting the important circuitry that provides these evaluations. So all arithmetical and logical operations, shift operations are done by this ALU unit only. Control unit fetch the instructions from the main memory. Main memory means RAM. Decodes the instructions and then executes them. So how the control unit fetches the instructions from the main memory? So control unit asks the instructions to the instruction register. Instruction register fetches the data from the cache memory, and cache memory fetches the data from the main memory. The CPU interacts with the main memory and the input output devices. The CPU reads and writes data from the memory system and transfers data to and from the input output devices. Students, an elementary execution cycle in the CPU can be defined as follows. So how the execution cycle performs inside the CPU? The CPU fetches the instructions which we have to implement from the main memory and saves it into the instruction register. The CPU fetches the instructions from the RAM and store it in the IR, instruction register. As you know, again this register, this memory is present inside the CPU. The instruction is that decoded by the decoder. Means what is the instructions it is, and this is the instruction for the arithmetic operation, logical operation, or the instructions to store the data in the memory, or the instructions to read the data from the memory. The operands are fetched from the memory system and stored in the CPU register. Operands means values which are going to be used for the arithmetic calculations, so that are stored in the CPU registers. This is the one memory. The instructions are then executed. The results are transferred from the CPU register to the memory system. If there are more instructions to be executed, the execution cycle repeats. Some pending interrupts are also tested during the execution cycle. So, example, we can see the interrupts include input output devices request. So, while processing, you have pressed any key through the keyboard, you have generated any event through the mouse by clicking. So, these are all called the interrupts. So, these are the highest priority. So, these interrupts will be executed by the CPU first. Arithmetic overflow or pages are tested during the execution cycle. These are the interrupts. Input output device request, arithmetic overflow, or the pages are tested during the execution cycle. So the procedure of the CPU are represented by the micro orders issued by the control unit. Micro orders are the control signals which are transferred over determined control lines. CPU is the main component of the computer system. It can give out each instruction of a program to implement the primary arithmetical, logical, and the input output operations. See, this is the ALU unit, how it works. ALU stands for the arithmetic logic units. This is the key component of the CPU which performs the arithmetical and the logical operations. It performs billions of operations per second. ALU circuit has integration of 4 key components. See the input. Here integer operand, 2 inputs A and B. This is called the operands, outputs and storage. Now here you see this. This is the opcode operation code, and this is the status. This is the result. Result is stored in the register that is called the accumulator register, and this is a status. So to store the binary digits, computers use transistors. So where these binary digits are stored inside the computer? Transistors. So computer uses transistor switches that are either open or closed, and you will study in detail about the transistors in class 12 in the physics. Data is stored in a register designated to store the output. So which is the register? Which register is designated to store the output? That is called the accumulator. So ALU tends to be fast and accurate. So see how it is happening. This conduct logical operations such as bitwise operations, which are operations on a string of binary numbers. CPU processor directly supports the bitwise logical operations, which are fast, simple, and range from basic to high level. ALU conducts bit shifting. So with the help of the bit shifting, we do the multiply and division. So multiplication and division of the numbers is done by shifting the bits, which is the movement of bits in response to a particular instructions from bit operators. Here you see this is the binary adder. So this is used for adding. This is a circuit for adding the binary digits. This is a shifter for shifting the bits. This is the temporary memory. This is the accumulator register. All these are the registers, and this is the status of the register. ALU may also do multiple precision arithmetic, which is a software operation required when the desired level of accuracy exceeds the hardware capacity. ALU do the complex arithmetic and the logical operation because they enable modern computers to spread difficult calculations into a large number of binary processes. What does the ALU do? Students, ALU perform the arithmetical and logical operations. The control units direct the ALU in performing specific operations, with the ALU being responsible for carrying out these operations. The NOT gate consists of a single transistor and one input logic gate. Its function is to produce the output that are inverse of the input. An input of 1 would result an output of 0 in the NOT gate. Multiple transistors and 2 inputs are used in the OR gate. The output is OR gate produces output of 0. The output is only 1 if the first or second input is 1. Conversely, the OR gate produces an output 0 when both the inputs are 0. This, you all are aware about this. All logic gates already have studied in chapter 3, Boolean logic and gates. So the AND gate, you know that the function of the AND gate utilizes multiple transistors and it takes 2 inputs, 2 input AND gate, 3 input AND gate. This depends upon the number of inputs you are passing to the AND gate. So functions of the ALU. So ALU performs what? Arithmetic operation, logical operation means AND or NOT XOR, comparison operations less than greater than, bitwise operations shifting the bits, and data flow into the ALU. ALU has a direct access to the CPU controllers. Primary memory means from the ALU can take the data from the RAM or even the input output devices also. ALU takes the input data from the memory using the bus like electrical route. So we have the 2 connection circuit wires, that is called the data bus and the address bus. Applying functions. The internal components of the ALU are used to perform the binary calculations for a variety of functions. It provides a temporary storage also. ALU commonly includes a memory blocks to store the input. They have seen in the diagram also, it stores 2 input operands which to be added and stores the result and shift the results also. The ALU takes the input from the processor registers and gets back the result to the registers only. So the ALU takes the input from the processor registers only. From which memory? Memories of the CPU, that is the registers, and it gives back the result to the accumulator register of the CPU. It is a critical component of the CPU. Now the control unit. So control unit, this is also the another part of the CPU, which drives the corresponding processing hardware by generating a set of signals that are in sync with the master clock. So this control unit generates the signals, and this operates with the help of the master clock present in the processor that decides that how many instructions going to be executed in per second. The two major operations performed by the control units are the instructions interpretation and the instruction sequencing. So control units do what? It instructs, it do the decoding of the instructions, and it makes the sequence of the instructions, means it decides what instructions to be given to the CPU and what order. Control unit is a part of the CPU, is divided into the ALU and the control unit. The control unit generates the appropriate timing and control signals to all the operations, means which instruction will execute by the CPU at what time. So this is dealt by the control unit. The flow of the data between the processor, memory, and the other peripherals is also controlled using the timing signals of the control units. So how the data will move from the processor to the memory and from memory to the processor or to the other peripherals devices, means to the monitor screen or to the printer, how the data will flow will take place, that is all decided by the control unit. Now functions of the control unit. The function of the control unit is to fetch data from the main memory, determine the devices and the operations involved with it, to which device this data came, and produce a control signal to execute the operation. So this control unit helps the computer system in the process of carrying out the stored program instructions. It interacts with both the main memory and the ALU unit. It performs the arithmetic or the logical operations. It coordinates with all the activities related to the other units and the peripherals, means hardwares. Now see the students, the processor contains several registers. Just now we have discussed this, the fastest memory, and they have the special functions or register for temporary storage purpose. To do the, in addition to the arithmetic, logical unit, control unit, program counter, we have instruction register. These are the memories: program counter, instruction registers, memory address registers, memory data registers. Specific, this you will study on your engineering about this type of the registers, basically what they do, what they perform. So this is out of your syllabus, will not discuss much more on this. Now here you can see these are the all the general purpose registers. 1 to there are 15 registers general purpose. This is the program counter, instruction register. This here the instructions from the cache is stored here. This is the memory data register, memory address register. Here data are stored and the addresses are stored in this. This is the ALU, this is the control unit, this is your main memory. See, your memory data register is connected to the RAM. Your memory address register is connected to the RAM. So here address register holds the address of the memory of this RAM only, main memory, where the data is present. And control unit is also connected to your RAM. So the IR holds the instruction that is presently being executed. So which instruction is going to be executed at present, it will be in the IR only. So CPU will take the instructions from this instruction register. Timing signals generated by the control unit are based on the content of the IR. The signals help in controlling the various processing elements that are necessary to execute the instructions. The functions of the other registers, that is the memory address register and the MDR, is to transfer the data only. The address of the main memory from which the data is transferred is stored in the MAR. So address of the RAM where the data is present, where you want to transfer, that is stored in the MAR register. The data is to be read or written from a specified address to the main. So for read and write the data, this MAR register and the MDR registers are used. Now the operating system. As you all aware, student, the operating system is a software and it manages and handles the hardware as well as the software resources of the computers. So what are the function of this operating system? Basically, the function of the operating system is what? It is responsible for managing and controlling your all the activities and sharing of computer resources among different running applications. Student, a low-level software that includes all the basic functions like processor management, memory management, file management. It mainly acts as a government for your system, just like it is act as a government. Like the government controls the entire functions of the nation that has different departments to manage the different resources. Similarly, here the operating system is also acting as a government and it controls all the hardware resources and the software resources, where your files will be stored, how your file will be accessed, how you will run any applications. Everything is looked after by the operating system. Example of the operating system are the Linux, Unix, Windows 11, MS-DOS, Android, Mac, and iOS. All these are the operating systems name. Now, here you see there are so many users. This is the operating system. Operating systems deal with the hardware and also deals with the application programs. User 1, 2, 3, they give the instructions through the software and the instructions received by the operating system. And after that, that applications get run by the operating system. Types of operating system. So this OS is a software that manages computer hardware and software resources. So this OS is act as a bridge between the user and the computer. So computer knows the high level language and user knows the English. So computer doesn't know the English. So how one will communicate? How the user will communicate to the computer? So how I can give my command to the computer? So for this I need a middleman which can translate my English code to the machine code which computer understand, and the computer's machine code into the English which I can understand. So this is done by the operating system only. So for ensuring the smooth operation, different types of the operating system serve different needs. Some handle one task at a time, while the other manages multiple users or real-time processes. So the basis of the how many tasks are handled by the CPU, there are different types of the operating systems. Now you see, here you are seeing the 8 types of operating system: batch operating system, multi-programming operating system, multi-processing operating system, multi-user operating system, real-time operating system, network operating system, and the distributed operating system. So basically 7, this is the repeated one. So now we'll not discuss a lot about the batch operating system, but we see a little bit, see how this works. So batch operating system handle large group of similar jobs, and it does not interact with the computer directly, but instead process jobs that are grouped by an operator. So the operators, this is basically used at the generation 2 computers at that time. So when the coding was done through the machine coding. So over this, in the batches set of codes, we put it in the batch, and after that, this executes and generates the result. The CPU generates the result. So job 1, job 2, job, this n jobs we give to the operating system, and operating system takes and make it as a batch and give to the CPU. Okay, now we'll move ahead. This is the multi-programming operating system. So in this, multiple programs run in the memory at the same time. Many programs is run. So here the CPU is assigned to the jobs in a round robin fashion for 2 microseconds. Suppose job 1, then for next 2 microsecond job 2, next 2 microsecond job 3, again next 2 microsecond job 1. So in a round robin fashion, the CPU is assigned to the jobs. Here the CPU switches between the programs, utilize its resources more effectively and improve the overall system performance. That is called the multi-programming operating system. So CPU is better utilized here because the CPU is assigned over the jobs. It helps in reducing the response time. Multitasking operating system or time sharing operating system. So here multitask, at one time multiple tasks is given to the operating system. With every process running in a round robin manner, each task is given some time to execute so that all the tasks work smoothly. Here each user gets the time of the CPU as they use a single system. These systems are also known as multitasking system, but it appears that it is all tasks is performing at the same time, but at one time it does. But since the time period is very less, so we cannot realize it. So the time that each task gets to execute is called the quantum. So how much time the CPU will how much time this CPU is given to a particular job. So that time is called the quantum here. After this time, the interval is over. The operating system switch to the next task. For example, you can understand here, this is the browser Excel in the VLC, and the CPU will be given to the browser for 2 microseconds, then Excel, then VLC, then again to the browser and Excel, VLC like this. Here each task get an equal opportunity, few chances of duplication of software. CPU idle time is reduced in the multitasking operating system. Now we see this is the multi-processing operating system. So in this type of operating system, which more than one CPU is used for the execution of resources. So here multiprocessing means like the dual core, quad core, octa core processors, where processors are divided into more than one type of the independent CPUs. Here see, 3 CPUs are there, and at the one time 3 different tasks can be done by this CPU. It is better, it gives the better throughput. Advantages of the multiprocessing system: increases throughput of the system as process can be parallelized, now distributed operating system. This is the advancement in the world of computer technology and are being widely accepted all over the world. These at a great pace, various autonomous and interconnected computers communicate with each other using a shared communication network. So distributed operating system, you see, basically in this communication network, this is the CPU and memory. This is the CPU and memory. This is the CPU and memory. So many computers are connected to a communication network. So the same applications can be run on the different devices. So here's the advantage of distributed operating system. Failure of one will not affect the, suppose here one link is broken, so other will work perfectly from here. Electronic mail increases the data exchange speed. Here what? Here the resources are shared and computation is highly fast and durable. Means your all application which the person wants to run to their devices, that will be installed at a central system over this communication network, and all will able to access that application and they will run it through the internet. Now network operating system. So these systems run on a server and provide the capability to manage the data, users and groups, and security and applications and the other networking functions. This type of the network operating systems allow shared access to the files, printers, and security and applications and other networking functions over a small private network. In this, you can see so many clients are there. This is file servers are there. These all clients can access the, if the printer, suppose any one is the printer, so this can be accessed by this client also and this client also. For sharing the software resources and the hardware resources, we use this network operating system. Highly stable and centralized servers are used in this network operating system. These are costly disadvantage. Example of the network operating system is C, Microsoft Windows Server 2003, 2008, Unix, Linux, Mac operating system X, Novel NetWare. All these are the network operating system. Now real-time operating system. This type of operating systems serve real-time systems. Here the time interval required to process and respond to the input is very small. Where the accuracy is required, highest accuracy is required. In that case, we use this real-time operating system for booking a tickets in the railway. You see, we need a real-time operating system there. Because 1 second delay, number of tickets, maybe a person or many person will not get a reservation ticket. Like the launching of the missile systems, they use this real-time operating system. Traffic control system, robots are using this real-time operating systems. Now we move on. Now the language processors and translators. So students, now we see the this is the mobile operating systems. Mobile operating systems, you know, are specially designed for the mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets. Example of the mobile operating system, the Android and the iOS. So this system manages operating system of the mobile, manages the hardware and software resources of the mobile device. They provide a platform for running the applications. So the advantage of the mobile operating system are user-friendly interfaces. You see the graphical user interface we get. We touch on the icons and we open the applications. Extensive habit ecosystem. So availability of a vast number of applications on the Play Store and you install it and use it. Connectivity options, mobile operating system support the multiple connectivity options, enables the users to stay connected wherever they go. While movement also you are connected to the internet. And regular updates, mobile operating systems receive regular updates and you have to update it. Now the language processor and translator. So this is a software that converts the programs written in the human readable language to the assembly language of machine code which computer understands. So for this translation task in the operating system is done by the language processor only. So the language translator processor which is available inside the computer is a compiler. So this compiler is a language translator which translates the entire source code of a program into the machine code in one go. Means at one time, one page at a time. You can see, understand. The 2-3 pages, your entire code will be translated at one time. Execution, the program is compiled once and then executed multiple times here. Once compiled code, it can be executed by the machines or more than number of times. Advantages, these are faster execution after compilation because your code is converted into the machine code and only computer understand the machine code. So your execution will be faster. Errors are reported together after compilation. If any error present in your program, it will report it while you are executing the Python program. You see the errors. So that is done by the interpreter. And here some languages uses compiler like C, C++, and Java. Disadvantage, longer initial compilation time. It takes a time. You must recompile after each change. Example of the compiler is a C compiler, Java compiler. Interpreter, this is also a translator, but it translates the code line by line. And the compiler is doing at one go. Full page, or you can say all the entire code is translated into the machine code at one go in the compiler, but the interpreter do it line by line. Advantage is easy to find the error. No separate compilation step here is there. It is slower in comparison to the compiler and needs the interpreter every time the program runs. So if the program is running, so the interpreter, this code, this is required inside the memory. Example, Python interpreter, JavaScript engine, all these are the interpreter. So in the Python, which interpreter we use? Python interpreter. Python doesn't use the compiler. Assembler. Assembler converts the assembly language into the machine code. This is another translator software. Assembly code are the mnemonic short form of the instructions are written in the assembly language. It allows the low-level hardware control and produces fast, efficient code. Example of this assembler is the word MASM, MASM, and TASM. Now, difference between the compiler, interpreter, and assembler. It executes directly the instruction. It machine code file. It executes. It must. Now, the output of this is the compiler, the machine code file. Execution compiler is faster. It is slower. Assembler is also fast. Error reporting after full compilation, it reports the all errors. It reports the error immediately, but it will report the error at one time. Current error only in the current line error it will report. So how this language processing stages takes place? So lexical analysis break down the source code into tokens, means into the words which is recognized by the Python language. Syntax analysis, that will check the grammar according to the language rules. So where if you given the colon or not, if you use the comma or not, indent proper, you given or not. Semantic analysis, ensure the meaning is correct or not. Intermediate code generation. So here it is not done the intermediate code generation in this Python interpreter. Code optimization improve the efficiency of the code. Code generation produce the final machine code output. And code linking and loading prepare the executable for running. These are the tasks. Now the application software students are set of computer programs designed to perform the specific task for the user. Unlike system software, which manages the computer hardware, application software helps the user accomplish particular activities such as document editing, browsing the internet, or playing games. Types of application software, there are general purpose application software, which is we are using in our computer. Word processing, MS Word, Google Docs, Spreadsheet, Excel, Google, all these are the application software. Web browser, PowerPoint. Specialized application software designed for a specific task or industries like accounting software, Tally, QuickBooks, graphic design software, Adobe Photoshop, CorelDRAW, engineering software, AutoCAD. All these are the specialized application software. It's also the specific software. Customized made application software developed for the specific organization or the purpose, for like a banking software or railway industry software. Now see the system software and the application software. System software runs and control the hardware. Examples Windows, Linux. Application software helps user perform tasks. System administrators, this is users who use this software. System administrator, and application software is used by the end users. Packages, students are the pre-written ready to use software designed for the specific purpose. Like in the Python, we use the modules, that are the packages. Users do not need to write the code, they simply install and use it. So like MS Office is a package, we install it, so we get a lot of application software in a one shoot, in one package. So Microsoft Office package contains Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Access. Adobe Creative Suite contains Photoshop, Illustrator. Google Workspace is a package, contains docs, sheets, and slides. Utilities are also the software, students, which help maintain, manage, and protect our computer system. Some utilities softwares are the file management. This is present inside the operating system. Only Windows Explorer will do the file management. Finder, disk management, disk cleanup, defragmenter. Disk cleanup is used to free up the disk space. If your computer's hard disk space full, so disk management is used to cleaning the memory of the hard disk. Defragmenter is used to so suppose inside your hard disk so many places small memories are left unused, so it will bring all the unused memories at one place of a big size. Security software is also the antivirus and firewall. So we'll see what this disk cleanup is doing. Examples of the utility software is the CCleaner, Norton Antivirus, WinZip, and WinRAR. All these are the utility software. Disk cleanup basically see the student. This is the Microsoft inbuilt feature used to remove any unnecessary file from the system. From a long time you have not used. So with the help of the disk cleanup, you can remove such files. So when to use the disk cleanup, if your Windows PC is running out of storage, to go for the disk cleanup. If you want to upgrade your Windows PC to a new version, then go for the disk cleanup. When you uninstall any games or software, some additional files remain in the system logs, so then do the disk cleanup. So basically disk cleanup free up the disk space by removing the unnecessary and temporary files, and disk defragmentation arrange your computer's files and making them easier to access and freeing up space. Scan the disk for the files that can be removed safely, like temporary files, system files, and the old window updates. Here it arranges the scattered data into a neat continuous block for the better performance. So the data which is scattered at several places inside the hard disk, it will bring it at one place. All used memory, it will combine it in one place, and all unused memory, they will combine to the other place. Hereby free up the disk space, improving system performance by removing unnecessary files, by reducing the read and write time, especially fragmented files. Now the disk defragmenter, it is a utility software, students, which just now I have discussed, the rearranges the fragmented data on a hard disk so that the files are stored in the contiguous blocks. So this improves the file access speed and overall system performance. So fragmentation means when files are saved, deleted, or modified, data may be stored in the non-contiguous blocks on the disk. So that is called the fragmentation. So defragmentation means we have to bring it at a single place. They have to combine all the fragments of the memory which are unused, which are in a non-contiguous location at a particular one place. Fragmentation slows down the read-write operations because the disk head must move to the multiple locations to access a file. So rearranges the functions of defragmenter. It rearranges the file fragments into the continuous blocks. It groups the related files together for faster access. It reduces the disk head movement, improving the speed. It frees up the space by consolidating the unused areas. Advantage of this, it improves the system performance, faster file access, and program loading. Extend the lifespan of the hard disk drive. Now the student business software. So these are designed to assist in running the business operations. Accounting software, Tally, customer relationship management, CRM, ERP, enterprise resource planning, inventory management, payroll software, all these are the business software. Now the software libraries. So student software library is a collection of pre-written code, routines, classes, or functions which you are using in the Python as a module. We import some modules. So these are the libraries only. Reusable code, features. So why we put in the library so that code can be used by many programs or many users. Code can be used in multiple programs, pre-tested, codes are there. Reduce errors in the code is already tested. Modular, organized into modules or packages. And language specific, often written in a specific programming language like the Python library we have Java libraries we have. Types of software libraries. One is the static, second is the dynamic libraries. This is not in our syllabus. We are not going to talk about the types of libraries. Now, the students, we are on the last part of this chapter, mobile system organizations. Basically, mobiles are the tiny computers that can fit in our hands. As you know, it has some slow processing as compared to a computer. You can open, see, this is the mobile components. This is the power management charger of the mobile charger unit. This is the RAM CPU. This is the ROM, CPU and the GPU, general processing unit, and the central processing. This is the mobile processor. Inside the mobile processor, you get the CPU unit and the GPU unit. And this is the communication processing unit. This is another CPU, communication for which you are, this processor is dealing in the making a call and attending a call. This is the system, mobile system organization display subsystem, the touch sensitive interface display and display screen. This is your the RF radio frequency transceiver SIM response through this unit RSMU. This is the storage, external storage of your mobile. You are connecting anything, camera unit, and this is the audio system and subsystem. So these are the internal parts of the mobile system. So mobile processors, the brain of the mobile, camera ISP, the part which processes the images and videos, and display unit which provides the display function and display and touch interface to us. Memory unit, storage unit of the mobile. Power management is the battery of the mobile. External storage is the expandable storage. If you want to connect with the pen drive or some other hard disk. Mobile processor is the CPU central processing unit for mobile. It processes the millions of commands per second. This provides the backbone to our mobile phone, due to which the operating system of our mobile works, and all the pre-installed as well as the installed application works with the help of this operating system. The processor receives the command and processes it and forms as an output. So this mobile CPU performs the calculation. Without the processor, our mobile is unable to open and perform its function. So the processor is very important device for our mobile. So it is basically three type parts on this mobile processor having CPU, APU, GPU. APU is the application processing unit, which tries to open the application. CPU communication processing unit helps to establish the call. GPU graphical processing unit. CPU is also known as digital signal processor, DSP. We say this as a DSP also. It converts the analog signal into the digital signal, CPU. It stands for the communication processing unit. As the name suggests that it is the part of the mobile processor which helps us to make and receive call. In the communication processing unit, this is CPU contains the DSP. Digital signal processor. So it also divided into two parts. DSP divided into two parts. RSMU, that is the radio signal management unit, and the audio subsystem. APU stands for the application processing unit. This is a part of the mobile processor which runs all the applications which is pre-installed and installed by the user. APU executes every application which is on the mobile. GPU is the second part of the mobile processor, graphical processing unit. It is the part of the mobile processor which processes our mobile's graphics and designs. Any picture, high quality graphics you want to open, that is done by the GPU. Camera ISP. So ISP stands for image signal processing. Image signal processing. This is a part of our mobile system which processes the images and videos. All the images and videos that are taken from our camera are a part of this camera ISP. It has a special image signal processor which processes the things like instant image, capturing, high resolution support, image stabilization, image enhancement, or the display unit. The display unit is the unit of the mobile phone which provides a display and touch interface. So most mobile uses the OLED display. This is a technology. It has very smooth and fast processing as well as it could be scrolled easily also. Memory unit of the CPU of the mobile operating system. Mobile which stores the data, files, and information in the memory unit. It also processes the data. It stores text, document, images, video, picture, songs. So these are two types of the memory available in the mobile: RAM and ROM. RAM is the main working memory for mobile, where the all installed applications are first loaded on RAM. and after then only they are executed. Similarly, in the computer also, if our mobile phone will have better RAM, then its processing power will also be better. RAM is unable to work if the power supply of the electricity goes off. It is a volatile memory. ROM is the reading-only memory. It is the internal storage of the mobile. No user could write anything on it. Read only it is. ROM part of the memory resides near the operating system of the mobile. In ROM, some application could not be deleted by the users any. That is the WhatsApp means pre-installed applications are present in the ROM only. So you cannot delete it. If you have any application you are unable to delete means that is stored in the ROM only. Just only you can use it or read it. Power management, battery management. So more about the ROM of the computer. So how your power and battery will be managed, that is also the program is written in the ROM. You cannot change it. So power management means the part of the mobile supplies the power to the mobile due to which the mobile phone could work and process. Batteries are the part because of which the mobile works. Most mobile phones are formed with the lithium ion batteries and the capacity of the battery measured in this the mAh. That is the milliampere hour. mAh stands for milliampere hour. The more the capacity of the battery, the more mobile could work. External storage known as the expandable storage, the storage which could be externally added to the mobile phone. This can be the SD card, micro SD card, and you can remove it also. So advantages of the mobile system. There are so many advantages of the mobile systems are students. Mobiles are small computers which can process a large set of data within a second. We could connect to the internet through our mobile phones. We could easily communicate in any place on the earth. We could capture images and videos from our mobile phones and edit them. So this is all. The chapter 1 is completed, students. So let me tell you again. So there is a choices given between the this programs and the this theoretical questions on these chapters. So these are the important topics you study about the difference between the hardware and software that you one time go through it, and you see the components of the CPU that you practice it well, and the features of Python that you studied, and differences between the RAM and ROM, primary memory and secondary memory, input devices, output devices. This all you see one time. So the theoretical questions on this chapter you will get from these only. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you.